Today's episode is brought to you by Tactical Sport Management, the premier management company for Power Slap athletes. MMA, UFC, and now there's Power Slap. These things have become so popular these days. Now, last night at dinner, I was actually making Nikki watch what?
Fighting?
It was the UFC fighting.
The UFC fighting, yes.
Yeah. And I did show you some of the Power Slap, right?
Yes, you did.
Now,
it looked very painful.
Well, what do you think? We should maybe try it out on each other, see if we like it, huh? I'll go first. No. But today on my show, we're going to learn a lot about this because I have Rayden Bombardier. Welcome to the show, Rayden.
Thank you for having me, man.
Oh, dude, it's a pleasure having you. Pleasure. I love it. Can you tell everybody what is the difference from MMA to UFC to Power Slap?
So MMA is the sport of all these fighting sports mixed together. And then UFC is the company. You know, so the company has become so big that it basically is the sport. And that's just like amazing. It's like saying a company is called soccer. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
And so that's just how big the UFC is and how big MMA is. And Power Slap is owned by the UFC, created by Dana White, and I'm just so glad to be a part of it. It's huge, man. There's people coming from all kinds of countries, and just like the UFC, and in a couple of years, it's just going to be just as big.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
I mean, it's huge.
I'm sure. Okay, so Rayden, how did you get in this? Where did you start? What brought you to becoming a fighter like this?
So I've been training since I was 12 years old. I just turned 25 recently, and you know, I was bullied a lot when I was younger. And so, and you know, I was a big WWE wrestling fan.
Really?
You know, and so my friend told me, he was like, hey, man, I want you to come try out for the wrestling team when I was younger. And I went there, and there was not a WWE ring, let me tell you. You know, it was people in singlets. And, you know, I'm just the type of kid that when you sign up for something, when you sign up for a class, you don't stop and you keep going because that's what you signed up to do. And, you know, little did I know I'd be a professional MMA fighter and a professional Power Slap fighter. As far as Power Slap goes, I had a fight at the Los Angeles Convention Center in Muay Thai, and there was so many people there. And, you know, I was going through a lot at that time. I was sleeping in my car.
Oh, wow.
I was just having a baby, you know, so I was going through it, and I was fighting with a lot of passion. And, you know, I knew somebody would see it, but, you know, after fighting in front of a couple hundred people, and then you go back home, but I don't have a home, I would go sit in my car and sleep at the beach and,
Really?
you know, like take showers at my gym. And, like,
Wow.
it was rough, you know. And a couple months later after that fight, I was sleeping at the beach. And hence, that's why they call me the California Kid. You know, I'm just always at the beach. I represent California the most.
Nice.
And, I got an Instagram DM from a UFC producer, Joey Varner, and said, hey, would you like to be a part of this show? Would you like to go to a mansion and make thousands of dollars and be on the TV? And, you know, there was 100,000 applicants, or like
Really?
60,000, 100,000 applicants, yeah, for the season. And I didn't even sign up. You know, and they found me through that fight that I did.
Now, I know there's a lot of training that's involved, lot. I tell you why I know this now, because we are filming a documentary right now with the Iridium Management Company on UFC fighters. And, man, did I learn a lot. I mean, how much you guys have to go through to train to get to that fight. It's incredible.
They say it's the fight before the fight.
Exactly. I
know?
could see that, you know, because, I mean, it's just every day they're in there from morning to night, just training. And then there's the weigh-in. And that also is a pretty, is that like a difficult thing to make sure you get the right weight and everything?
You know, it really depends on how much time you have. Like, I'm a professional. Like, right now, I'm pretty close to 170 pounds, so I can make weight, like, tomorrow if I wanted to. That's if you're, do it correctly. Some people are like weight bullies. They like to be huge and then cut a massive amount of weight, and so for the first time coming up, I'm going to be able to fight somebody my size. I always fought people that are like a lot bigger than me. So dropping down in weight, it will help me just because I'm in more shape.
Yeah.
Fighting somebody my size, and I'm not doing an unhealthy weight cut. I'm doing this real healthy.
Good, very good. So are you still doing the MMA stuff, or is it just power slap right now?
You know what? Right now, I'm focused on being the next welterweight power slap champion.
Very cool.
I really believe I'm the next 170-pound champion. I believe I'm the next superstar. I think people want to see my story be told. I think people want to see my saga be finished. And, there's never an ending. But I see myself doing MMA, too. But I'm really focused on power slap,
Yeah.
As far as training with power slap, it's like just training like MMA.
Yeah, what kind of training goes into power slap?
So, I mean, it's such a new sport that we get to be the first people to really to try to figure out how to do it. You know what I mean? And so people are learning from us because we're pioneers. We're the first 200 people in the world to pretty much ever do it for the UFC.
Gotcha.
I mean, people were doing it outside of the UFC, but this is the first place that made it mainstream. And as far as training, a lot of neck strengthening, because when you get hit, it's like you're trying to keep your neck straight. There's different ways of bracing. So you have to if you just go up there and stand or put your chin over the table, you're going to get clipped. People think you're just these guys are just going in there and just hitting each other for no reason. But there's people that have like me that were going through a bad situation that had so much purpose to be there. And then there's somebody else, I fought this guy named Neil Thomason. He is such a religious guy, and he's such a nice person, and he had such a story to him too, but only one of us can win.
There you go.
And
so it's a lot of mental.
Yeah, exactly. That's
right?
what I said earlier when we first walked in. It's all mental.
It is. I could say that. I know what you're saying too, because I see them. They hold that bar behind their back, right? Mm-hmm. And what's that kind of bracing them? Is that what it's doing?
So I think why we have that is so basically you don't put your hand up and block.
Oh,
it kind of helps you take the hit better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's some techniques that I learned from some people that are contending with the championships and champions, and I know the next time I fight, my defense is going to be a lot different than before. And then you think to yourself, how different can you be standing there? Trust me, there's a lot different. There's small mechanics and small centimeters of if I move just a tiny bit, or if I lean into it. Or am I just gonna eat it because this guy isn't shit?
So it's not just slapping you around. You got technique then. Technique is what probably wins.
But you only find that out over time.
Yeah.
The only way you can figure that out is by getting hit and being in these matches, and I love it, man.
I know. I tell you guys, if you get a chance, go online and look up, power slap and watch some of this stuff. It really is incredible. What you athletes go through. I mean, I'm just blown away. This is very new to me too. I just was introduced by it, with your new management company. By the way, you just signed with a new management company, didn't you?
Yes, sir. I just signed with Charlie Jones, Tactical Sports Management, the best team in the world.
Nice.
And let me tell you, bro, Charlie Jones is a great guy. I love Charlie.
He's amazing.
I trust him. I respect him. He's a great father. He's helped me out. And just recently, my team's helping me get my passport so I can get onto these Abu Dhabi cards and all these other things. They're taking care of all these things.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. First of all, he's right about Charles is amazing. Charles and I have worked together for years in different businesses. We're partners on a lot of things. In fact, we're partners on we're doing the documentary. He's the one he's the EP on the documentary. So the guy is fantastic. Now, you said that you signed to the management company just recently, right?
Yeah.
Were you with someone else before that, or were you just a privateer?
I've just been myself. I just so when I got signed to Power Slap, I wasn't really in a position to really say anything. I'm just it's either go over there or I'm just going to sit here and be homeless. So now I have a team that as I get bigger, as I get all these sponsors coming towards me, they can kind of delegate and sorry, I didn't mean to cuss and
it's all right. It's all good here.
Yeah, sorry. But he's kind of just, dealing with all that for me. We have a legal team also, David and Vincent. They're amazing. And every time I go to Vegas, I meet up with them. And We watch the fights. We go hang out, and you know, he's a friend of mine, and I trust him.
Beautiful. Let me tell you something about that. When I was first introduced, when we started filming this documentary, and I was introduced to everybody, they're like family. All the fighters, all the trainers, all the managers, everybody. They're like one big family, and they look out for each other. They help each other. We went to this big dinner one night with Iridium brought like 80 of their fighters in this big family dinner at Photo Chow in Vegas. And we filmed it, and just watching everybody interact with everybody, it's just like everybody is so nice and so like family. It's amazing.
You know, I have a great example of that. Like when I went to Vegas last time and I went to go watch Power Slap 10, like I met Anthony Blackburn, the welterweight champion, like the guy in my weight class that I'm gunning for, you know, and I ended up having lunch with him and like a bunch of other people. And I was like, wow, like these guys are so awesome. Like it's not just my season, like of the people that I met in the house. It's everybody.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
And,
fantastic group of guys.
Yeah.
I have to give you that. That's for sure. No doubt about that. So what are some of the martial arts training you did you do? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Was it something like that? What kind of martial arts did you do?
So initially I started, so really back when I was young, I did Taekwondo.
Okay.
So shout out to my grandmother, rest in peace. She was a 3rd degree black belt, and
Wow.
my grandpa's a black belt, and my aunt's a black belt. All my cousins are black belts, and my whole family are black belts in Taekwondo. I ended up going the wrestling route, but I
Gotcha.
was around that. So just having that background of kicking and grappling,
Yeah.
that's so unique.
Oh, yeah.
You know, especially for me being a bigger guy at the time, and I used to be 280 pounds. So
Really?
like just and
Wow.
just dropping weight. It's really helping me with my boxing, which was helping me, you know, cut weight and kickboxing, and that weight was just falling off. I've done just about every combat sport you could think of, from jiu-jitsu, wrestling, to boxing, to
Nice.
kickboxing, to Muay Thai, to MMA. I haven't had the opportunity to compete in every single one of them, but I've trained at the highest level with all of these guys.
Awesome. See, I took a lot of martial arts growing up too, and that's why I love the MMA and UFC so much better than just regular boxing. I just love that style of fighting. It really, you know, just you get so like pumped up watching these guys.
You know, there's something about boxing that just doesn't tickle my pickle. As they say.
I know it.
You know?
I'm the same way. I'm exactly the same way about that. That's funny you say that. Well, that's awesome, dude. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had any type of like firearm training or anything like that? Like gun training, or do you have to shot guns?
I grew up in a hunting family, but there's a catch to that, is that we grew up shooting archery. We didn't really have guns, you know, and so I do have a step family where I did shoot a gun over there, but I really haven't had any gun training. I haven't really shot any guns. I know next time I go to Vegas, Charlie wants me to go over there, and dude, I've never seen more guns in my life than when I saw Charlie's office, bro. Like, what?
I know. Well, here's what we got a bunch of fighters coming out to our studio, probably in the next few weeks. We're going to be doing some really, really slick shots in the backside stage with the Scorpion robot and the slow-mo cam, then punching bags. But we're also taking it into my private range and doing a day of training and fun shooting.
That sounds
So
dope.
if you want to, I would like you to join us when we have them out here. It'd be fantastic.
Let me know when and consider me there.
Absolutely, yeah,
That sounds
that'd be
fun.
I'd like to get some of those shots of you two in the back too. with
Yeah,
that
sounds
rig.
great.
Yeah, once we get that all set up, we'll get you over and do
Cool.
that.
Yeah.
It'll be good. So now, can people like follow you and find you and follow your career?
So right now, the best place to follow me is on Instagram at Rayden_MMA, RAYDEN_MMA. Or this is really cool to be able to say now, but you can just Google me.
There you go.
You can just Google
I
me.
did. And I was reading all about you before you came over. I love it, you know. And Nikki's going to post all that stuff for people to find you too.
Yeah, everything will be in the description box below, so you can find your Instagram and maybe a Google search. We'll put everything below.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
Be all good, all good.
And I know Charles and my sports team, this is my first time saying this, we just made a website for myself. We're going to be starting to release merchandise and things like
nice.
that. So I think the website's already made.
Okay.
You know, so soon it's just going to be put out, and you know, we'll see how it goes. As I get bigger, I just want to expand my brand. And this is all for my son King. You know, he's 1 year old, and right now I'm grinding for the forever happiness. You know what I
Very
mean?
nice.
I'm putting my nose down.
That's awesome.
You know,
dude.
me and his mom are co-parenting. So sometimes it gets difficult. I have some struggles with mental health sometimes, but you know, nobody can really tell. And especially as a fighter, sometimes you really need that outlet to go train and to go fight. And sometimes you just feel so wholesome after that. Like I felt like a mountain of just mountains off my shoulders when I got back from Power Slap.
I could see that.
It just felt like honestly, there was a point in my life where I was about to become homeless, right? Because I was homeless, and so I was at my last day at the hotel, and I'm not religious whatsoever, and I got onto my knees and I prayed, and I was so suicidal. I was just like, man,
Really?
like change my life, please. Like I have no food. I have no gas to go see my son. I can make it to the beach. Help me change my life. And you know, I got that call and it just changed my life. And
Boy.
like now it's like I'm not even close to what I was like before. Like I was like suicidal. I hated life. I couldn't think anything could get worse. And you know, that's why I tell people you can change your life overnight.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Well, thank God you did that, buddy. Really.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, seriously. That's an amazing story, really. When is the next Power Slap event?
So just a couple days, actually. Power Slap 11. It's in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of great fights. It's the takeover from season 3, man. I'm telling you guys, It's going to be an amazing event. So Power Slap 11 is going to be the next event, headlined by the Crazy Hawaiian and Dumpling. It's going to be a rematch. And these names are like giant names in the Power Slap community. So like if you were to like be like, what's Power Slap? We would show you the Crazy Hawaiian.
That's Charles was telling me about him. Yeah.
And he's awesome. And the next one coming up after that is going to be Power Slap 12 in Vegas. And you know, I will be there on weight, ready to go.
What date is that?
It's going to be March 7th.
March 7th. And people can just buy tickets to that, right?
People can buy tickets, man. You know, I don't know how much the tickets cost. In the last time, they're probably like under $100. But like, if you have never experienced, if you've gone to fighting, if you've seen fighting before, like in person, go watch a Power Slap event, and you'll be like, wow, that was insane. Like I watched the Power Slap event, and then I went to the UFC fight with Charles and them, and I was like, oh, that was cool, but the Power Slap events were like vicious and violent. And
I know it.
You get what you're gonna see, what you want to see.
I mean, just watching those videos, I'm like, I can imagine what it's like in person. Yeah, I would encourage people to try to go out there and check it out. It would be entertaining, that's for sure. No doubt about that.
And there's a lot of influencers there, from WWE superstars to you know, UFC fighters, like the UFC champions, to like just social media people, to actors, to just there was everybody you could name there, honestly. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like Mark Zuckerberg pulled up and stuff like that, you know, just because people are such a big fan of fighting and MMA and UFC. Everybody loves it.
Hey, Donald Trump goes to those fights.
Yeah, that too. I would love to see Donald Trump at a Power Slap event. You know,
I know
I'm sure it will happen.
If it does happen, please call me.
Okay.
She'll be on the next flight out there. She'll miss that. So now this was Dana White's. Was this he started this, or was this his image, or what?
You know what? This is what he thought that would blow up. Like, what's the next fighting combat sport that's gonna blow up?
Gotcha.
And he's seen Power Slap. Well, it wasn't called Power Slap. It was just called slap fighting, right? Because you got the UFC, then you got the sport of MMA.
Yes.
Just like Power Slap, everybody thinks slap fighting is Power Slap because it's so big. Power Slap's so big, but it's the actual sport is actually just slap fighting. You know what I mean? But he figured that this was going to be the next biggest thing, and he was right. You know, I got close to like 50 million views in just one fight, and you know, my second fight, I got to main event 2 different episodes, you know, made by the UFC, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of it. And you know, I got to speak to Dana White for more than a couple minutes last time I went to Vegas, and that was just amazing.
The scale, Rayden Bombardier. Rayden Bombardier is only 5'9", so he definitely has the height disadvantage going into the fight, but he has shown some potential since coming into the competition. Both of these guys come from very tough circumstances, and they are determined to do well here in Power Slap. And I actually love this fight.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I tell you, I see it growing. I see it growing overnight, absolutely. And I think Charles saw the vision too. That's why he.
I was with Charles when I met Dana. Well, I walked away and then I met Dana. But yeah, I was hanging out with him and my management team and David and Vince. And it was crazy. Theo Vaughn was there. And I walked up to this WWE superstar, Braun Strowman. I'm like I said, I told you, I've been a big fan of WWE since I was a kid. I was like, yo, man, like, I'm a big fan. Like, I never say that,
Exactly.
But I was just like, and he was like, you want a picture? I was like, dude, I do power slap. He's like, I know who you are. And I was like, wow, that's great.
That's awesome, man. Awesome.
And I do want to share, when I met Dana White, man, it was one of the most surreal moments in my life, man. It was crazy. So, a guy named Aaron Turner had just got a big knockout, and he's the kindest giant in the world.
Really?
And so we were all at the after party, and he just met Dana, and he just walked up to me, and I ain't gonna lie, I was a little drunk. And he was like, hey, did you meet Dana yet? And I was like, no. And then he started, like, he just grabbed me. And he's fucking huge, right? And he just, like, started pulling me towards this, like, high-limit gambling area. And Dana White was there. And I was with also Gianni Huerta. He's, like, number 7 in the world in the lightweight division. He's a beast. He's going to be coming up soon.
Nice.
He met Dana first. And then it was my turn. And it's, like, one of those moments where I've been waiting my whole life to talk to him. And I knew exactly what I wanted to say. You only get one good first impression. And I was like, hey, man, I just wanted to say I'm so grateful that I met you and that I got to be a part of Power Slap. Like, I was homeless. Like, I didn't have food. Like, I hated my life. Like, I'm a superstar now, and I got a home, and, I'm paying my bills, and I got food, and, like, just thank you. Like, thank you. And he just put me in a headlock and was like, I love it. You're giving me goosebumps, kid. And just, I can't wait to put on a show for him. I owe him and Power Slap and Joey Varner and Erica and Charlie a lot.
Very nice. Oh, we got to do a documentary about you and your life, huh?
It's coming, man.
Jeez,
it's coming.
I tell you. That's a very, very interesting story.
There's the first Power Slap documentary is coming out on Netflix for the Crazy Hawaiian, and WWE just made a deal with Netflix, and TKO and UFC are the same group. WWE and UFC just formed a company called TKO, so I'm pretty sure we're going to see Power Slap on Netflix pretty soon.
Very cool. That's awesome, dude. Very good. Now, so you get this fight coming up in Vegas. How many days prior do you train, or do you just train every single day up to that
Every
day?
day.
Every day.
Every day. And not only that, I wear many hats, man. I'm a full-time sales rep at T-Mobile.
Oh, wow.
I also work at Louis part-time as a bouncer. I'm also a professional athlete. I'm also a dad. I wear a lot of hats. I don't get a lot of sleep, man. And I don't need a lot of sleep, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm grinded, man. Like I said, I'm sprinting right now so I can rest when I get a little bit older.
Very good. Very good. Awesome. Well, I tell you, I really think your story was very, very interesting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
To do what you did, to come from ground zero to where you are now, that had to take a lot, and you did it. And you just did it because you had the drive and you had the faith. And I'm glad to see you as a success.
Thank you, man. I'm glad that I have the opportunity to inspire other people, because there's so many people that I feel like that can relate to my story. When you guys go watch season 3, episode 6 of Road to the Title, that's the episode I main event. I also main event episode 10 as well. I just know that I can touch a lot of people. I can touch a lot of hearts, and there's a lot of people that go through life every day thinking that you can only make money through like a 9-to-5, and you got to struggle every day. And I want to break that cycle, and I want to show my son. And there's like this dark railroad tunnel that people go through sometimes, and they get stuck. And that's how some people become homeless. That's how some people, and it sucks. But as long as you have a vision and you believe in yourself, and you keep trucking along, you'll get through the other side.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more tunnels. It's never going to end, but you just got to be strong enough to keep pushing, because you're going to see some daylight too.
That's true.
It's all up and down.
All right. Sounds great. Well, Nikki, do you have any more questions for Rayden and the Power Slap?
I want to know how painful is it to get hit like that? My face hurts. I'm sitting here, my face is just hurting.
You know, honestly, I really don't feel a thing. It
Really?
sounds
Really?
crazy. You know, I do have a description of what it feels like. So basically, like, when somebody gets slapped and they get stunned, I don't know if you guys ever played Call of Duty, but it's like a flashbang. It's like, ping, like everything just like. But I came back to my senses like real quick, you know what I mean? But I just remember when I fought Neil Thompson, he hit me in that 3rd round. I got wobbled. I won that fight. But I just remember feeling it, and I didn't get to watch it for months. So I kept thinking, I was like, the last slap was the hardest one. Like, I wonder what it looked like. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So you say you don't use numbing cream on your face. Is that what you're saying?
No numbing cream.
Okay.
Just a big beard. Just a
There
big
you
beard
go.
to block
So
it.
facial hair is the key.
There you go.
Okay.
Some will say facial hair is the key.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
So interesting.
It is. It intrigues me. That's for sure. Well, I suggest everybody to go check him out. Go follow him. Go watch his career. Read about him. There's a lot of interesting stuff online. That's for sure. And they can find you where again?
On Instagram at Rayden_MMA, RAYDEN_MMA. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys can follow me on many places as I start, keep going up. Just Google me. I'm going to get more fights. I'm going to be the next welterweight world champion. I'm
Very
the
nice.
next superstar. I know it.
Beautiful.
And we can
Awesome.
say we knew you win
That's
before,
right.
Yep. And I'm the hometown guy over here, man.
That's it. You are.
I live here.
I know it. It's awesome. Well, Rayden, thank you, buddy. It's been a pleasure having you. Real pleasure. I wish you all the best in your next upcoming slap fights. I mean, really, I really hope you take it to the top, man.
Thank you. I definitely will. And it's always kill or be killed. It's going to be a great show. And I can't wait to come and shoot some guns with you, man.
Absolutely.
That sounds fun, dude. That sounds fun.
Well, some good times up there, that's for sure. And I want to thank Charles Jones, too, once again. I mean, Charles, thank you for the hookup. Thank you for starting a management company with this guy. I think you guys are going places, that's for sure. It is.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Charles, and thank you, Brian. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much. And Nikki, like again, we'll list everything on the description where to find you. And people, follow this guy. Check him out.
Just don't get any ideas. Don't be slapping your spouses.
And follow the Open Arms podcast as well.
There you go. That's it. Perfect. And you sure you want to slap me one time before you leave?
We have to.
No.
A little tap.
These slaps are registered.
That's right. All right. Well, that's great. I'm really glad I had you on the show. It was a very interesting show, that's for sure. And I think people will really be liking what they hear.
Thank you.
Nikki's going to post everything for you. And then, Nikki, where can they find us?
You can find Open Arms on Instagram at openarms.tv. And we are now on TikTok. So come on TikTok.
All right, everyone. That is our show for today. And always remember,
Safety, family, and the Second Amendment.
Have a good day.